Hey everybody, welcome back to our movie review. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. I just got done watching this, so it's fresh in my mind. Excuse me if you hear my cat in the background, she's just waking up. Um, I just got done watching this and I was actually very curious to see this because I've heard some good things about it, so I figured to check it out and give my 2 cents on the film. That film we're discussing today is in the English title, The Teacher's Lounge, which forgive me, I do not know who wrote or directed it, or quite frankly, who stars in the film. Um, all new faces to me, so just a FYI. But again, excuse me if you hear my cat. She's just waking up. This details, as the story alludes to with the title, it details a school teacher as she teaches sixth graders, fifth graders, sorry. And there is a scandal that is happening at the school, something involving money. Someone, it appears to be taking money or taking items, and no one seems to know who it is. And this teacher discovers, because she herself is a rather anxious figure. She's also quite paranoid, but mostly driven by her anxiety. And one day, when she decides to put a secret camera near her purse, she discovers with her laptop. She puts the camera on. Um, she discovers potentially the person who is doing all this stealing, and she confronts this person. And within that confrontation, it becomes the spiraling down of both accusations and rumors, and a conflict between her and the teachers and the students, and basically everything becoming stacked against her, as it becomes a battle between that of confidence and that of insecurities, where the teacher that possesses the insecurities and the students themselves and everyone else around her appears to have a level of confidence. But I think that what's very interesting about the film in the dissection of those mindsets and those behaviors is that it has a lot to do with perspective and a lot to do with information that is given to the characters, and within also us as the audience, as we're you know viewing this situation. It's not a mystery as to what is happening, and I think that it's actually um, I think that it's very clear as to what is happening, because it's a film that is meant to be viewed through behavior. It's a film that's not spelling it out to you. It's not a mystery. It's not, we have to figure out who is right and who is wrong sort of scenario. It's not what the film is interested in. What the film is interested in is about behaviors, where these behaviors come from, why these behaviors exist, and the development of these behaviors over time because of information falling onto their laps. Um, and um, and I think that is the way that the film approaches it. Firstly, I think is very thrilling and very tense. It's a film that has very little room to breathe, as does the character herself. She has very little room to breathe, as everything seems to be stacked against her. And I would say, in terms of the overall anxiety, the comparison that I come to is something like Uncut Gems, where it seems as though that every moment of that character's existence is just riddled with anxiety, and she has very, very little time to be calm and relaxed. And it's it's a character that's always on edge, and unfortunately so. The difference between something like Adam Sandler's character is that Adam Sandler's character is a character that's always putting himself in dangerous situations and putting himself in situations that is going to make him even more anxious and more worrisome and more paranoid. Whereas this character, she is to some extent also putting herself in that situation, but it stems more from her insecurities. It doesn't stem from Adam Sandler's case, his greed. It's more to do with her insecurities, her diplomatic behavior, which I believe is what creates the destructive situation or creates this chaotic, environment. Is that she's not firm in her belief. She's not firm in what she stands in. She has always this level of doubt in every situation, and tries to be very, very diplomatic with everything, with the students, with the teachers. It's she doesn't possess that selfishness. It's all a selfless act that she is trying to do, but there's a consequence in this situation, um, to being that way. There has to be a level of confidence in order to sustain oneself. And ultimately, inherently what she is trying to do is not wrong, and that's why you also feel incredibly sympathetic towards this character, because what she is trying to do is not inherently wrong. It's actually a very, very noble thing. It's just unfortunate that the situation spirals in the way that it does. But um, but it's all to the film's credit. It's not to say that the film, is, works against the character quite a bit. I think that it's all, um, I think that it all very much gives colors more commentary into the discussion of confidence and insecurities and that conflict between the two. That clashing between those two, and the the underbelly of that, where how these behaviors come to be. Why is it that someone is insecure in the situation? Why is this person so confident? It has to do with the information that is supplied to these characters and how they deal with that information. How people become very blinding and very ignorant, and how other people, in the case of our main character, have a very diplomatic edge and hence want to be very pleasing and want to be very considerate of everything, and not just with what they know, with what the facts truly are, you know. So, because, as I said, at the core of the situation, there is facts. It is not a mystery, it is not a mystery to what is actually happening. It is very much stewed in fact. What is the interest of the film is about the confidence in our main character, and in that inherent insecurity that character possesses, very so that insecurity that she possesses is what creates the chaos and is what makes it so difficult for her to manage, and creates that real anxiety throughout the entire film. I mean, there's points where you absolutely would want her to speak out for herself. You want her to be able to express herself fully and to not be hindered by her own self, And I think a lot of that comes down to the performance by the main actress. I think she does a really good job in this. I mean, everyone, I think, generally does a good job, but more so than anything, it's to do with the craftsmanship, in that it is oddly isolating. It primarily, I think, yeah, very much so takes place in one location, just in the school. It doesn't go outside the school. It does very rarely goes outside the school. It's just in this environment. So there's an isolating feeling to the film. There's also, like I said, a very anxiety-inducing feeling because of the performance that is there, the development of that character, the development of the circumstance. You get something that just, for the most part, just keeps you stressed and just keeps you just tense, nerve, because you feel as the character does, and that everything is just building and building and building. You're waiting for this character to just explode. You're just waiting for that moment where she's just like, this is too much for me, and surprisingly so, that moment never actually happens. What actually does happen is that the film ends quite quiet, very silent, and I think that it actually presents an interesting note to leave on, in terms of just, again, the dilemma at play. So I think that you get very great performances. I think that the craftsmanship is very, very solid in creating the isolated nature and really bubbling these feelings to where it is kind of, I wouldn't say unbearable, but it does get to that point where it is just quite strong. And it's all to the film's benefit. It, again, gives us more investment, gives us more engagement, and also presents very much so in an emotional state with how you are watching the film, insight to the dilemma of the character and how she is feeling throughout, as information in this situation gets even worse and worse and worse. Um, so I think it was very, very good, and I think that it presents its ideas very expressively and very strongly, and very, very detailed, in that it's not just purely about one perspective. It is about, as the character inherently is, it's a very diplomatic film. It's a very diplomatic presentation of narrative, and that is truthfully how something like this should be displayed. If it was displayed purely with her own perspective, it would not have been as enriched or as detailed. But because of it being that attitude, you get so much more, and you get so much understanding, and the ideas become much more prominent, and it's not just purely about one's insecurities. There are other layers to it, other sides to consider, and how that feeds into our main objective, or the main character that we're following. So I think it's very, very good. I think it's a very, very good piece, and I do think that the one quibble that I would have with it is that it feels built as it's built as a feature, but I couldn't get past the idea that perhaps this could have been told shorter. It feels like it is. I don't know if it was a short film initially, but it just has that feeling when watching it, that this could have been shorter. Not in that the length was an issue, but just by design, it feels like it was built to be that of a short film. But it's just a feeling that I had in the background. But it didn't interfere with my overall experience with the film. I still had a very, very good time with it, and I think that thematically and the exploration of those themes, I think, is very, very involving, very tense, and just thrilling, just absolutely thrilling. So very, very good. You guys should definitely check it out when you guys get a chance to. So those are my thoughts on The Teacher's Lounge. I thought it was very good. It's on Netflix. It's very short, hour and a half. I feel like it is. I'm honestly wondering if it was a short film initially, because it feels like it was, and it was expanded, But as it is, very good. But if you guys have seen The Teacher's Lounge, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And so that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.